Hey, it has been a stressful day. It's 7:30 p.m. and I've been seemingly what feels like sitting in traffic all day. So my first order of business today is to figure out how to return the iPhone X. There's no instructions in the box for how to get this back to them. I have to within 30 days or I'm going to keep making payments on it. They're going to charge me the balance of the phone or whatever because it's AT&T Next. So I went to the AT&T store, 25 minutes of traffic, get in there, talk to the people. I was in line for a while, and she's like, well, let me take your name and we'll put you on the queue. I said, no. Quick question. How do I send this thing back? And she's like, oh, was there no information in the box about that? No. Oh, well, let me try your IMEI and see what I get. So she plugs a number in and it comes up, a big red X on the screen, and she's like, you're going to have to contact AT&T support. We don't know what to do. And I said, well, I'm at AT&T. Like, can't you do that? She said, well, we could call AT&T support, but they're going to put you on hold for a while, so totally worthless. So I've been on hold for the last 24 minutes and finally got a guy who knows his ass from a hole in the ground, and he said, stick it in the box, make sure it's packaged, put the label on it, and just return it, which makes sense, but like the label in the box I was thinking was to return my XS, you know, if they sent the wrong one or I changed my mind or some BS. But no, it's to return this one, so they didn't make that clear at all, so that will happen tomorrow. Good morning, it's 1:17. We've got news. So I think the last time I talked to you was about the iPhone. I figured that out. It's packaged up. It's ready to be shipped out tomorrow. Moving on. I picked up the M5 today. Finally dried out enough for me to pick it up and drive it back. I went up about 2 or 3 o'clock. The S62 that started up on the other side of the garage door is Kenan. He's headed back for the night. The M5 is back, and this is the last night that it will spend in a garage, hopefully for not too long, but for the foreseeable future at this point, which is sad. However, it's got clear film on the door handles, the part that you pull only, not this part. I don't have nails and keys and shit in my hand, and I've never had a problem with scratching there, so I didn't want film there. He filmed this. They can't wrap it around the corner completely because it could rub. If it rubs, the corners will peel and it won't last. It ends right here. If you feel this edge, you can just feel an extra little line that is the film. But if you just open the door handle, I have no sense that there's film there at all. So all 4 of these door handles are filmed on this, just this part right here. This is 3M, or this is, Expel Ultimate Plus, which is super thin, super clear. There's no imperfections or bubbles in any of these door handles. They're perfect. So all of that's done. The reason I did that is I look at a lot of California cars, E39s, and all of this is faded, so I want to avoid that. So the door handles are done. The mirrors, unfortunately, could not be done in their entirety. So can you see on camera? There's a line right here. It comes to the edge. Then it dips back down and under and is right there. So the part that would be exposed to chips on the highway is protected. The flat part here is not. It would have been ideal to do the whole thing so you wouldn't see lines, but the film is not malleable enough to do this whole contour of the M mirror. So on Joe's 911, he has that 997.2 911, Joe, please don't kill me if I'm wrong, Carrera 2S. It is kind of similar. You can see some lines in it. You never really notice it. You'd have to be looking for it to tell that it's there. But of course I can tell that it's there. So this part is all film. The part that would get rock chips is protected. I did not do the fenders. They're not in good enough condition. Same deal with the hood. We move up to the headlights. Both the headlights are done in their entirety. The line is right on the contour edge, and I could not see that line if you paid me to. It's so well done. Same thing at the bottom and this edge. There were a couple bubbles in there that he fixed before I picked the car up. So the headlights are perfect. He did the fog lights too, so the fog lights are filmed. The whole front bumper is filmed, and the biggest seam that we see is right there. He said there was no way to avoid that. So unfortunately we have a visible, 1.25 inch seam right there by the end of this trim. It's cut out around the trim. It goes right to where the contour starts to go into that trim piece. You know, from a distance it'll look like a hairline crack, but you'll get up close and you'll see that it is film. It's kind of wrapped in there. You don't see it. It's right on the edge here, and then it goes under about a 1/4 inch. So that's all very nice. The few stone chips that were in here, and there were a few, I'm not seeing any bubbles on those anymore, which is cool. The film ends right here. It doesn't go in. This part's flat and wouldn't get chipped. There's a seam here. There's a seam here. This was all done custom. There were no templates available for this bumper. The front, all seamless. If you open the hood, you can see the seam kind of where the hood covers it up. You can also kind of see it underneath this little headlight panel. There was a bubble down here that I noticed when I cleaned the car today, and I just got my X-Acto knife, and per his recommendation, you puncture a tiny hole in there, push the air out, press it down, and then the next time it gets in the sun, that will self-heal. So I got that bubble out. All of this is done up to here. There's a seam right there, so this part is not filmed, but that shouldn't be subjected to many chips. So it's filmed to here, and then there's a line here, and then it goes under about an inch, inch and a half. So all of that's very well protected all the way into the grill. Under here is about a half an inch. We move over and then it's just a mirror image. Same deal with the headlight, same deal with the fog. This seam right here is even less noticeable. It's a tighter gap. Same deal down there. Same deal on the mirror. And same deal on the door handles. So in the future, when I repaint the fenders, this fender has a tiny little crease in it right here. Can you see that? Like it goes in further here, and then it hits a vertex here and then kind of smooths out. I don't know if that was ever, it's dented. Something at one point damaged that ever so slightly, so I didn't choose to clear the fenders because of mostly this. But someday I will repaint the fenders, the hood, film those at that time. Maybe the A-pillars, I don't know. There's some touch-up paint here. There was a tiny rust mark that I ground down and filled with paint and clear. So, you know, it's a 200,000 mile car. It isn't perfect, but that should be enough. I can drive it now without worrying. So, film is done. I got it cleaned up. Everything, wheels, tires, glass, body, carpets, everything's clean. We checked the fluids, pumped up the tires to spec, 38 rear, 34 front. It's ready to go. So I gave the shipping company the dates of the 28th and the 29th, which are Friday and Saturday. They were doing the best that they possibly could to work in those dates. Unfortunately, that was not 100% possible. There's only one carrier going out there this week. So unless I wanted to wait until next week and then have the same issue of maybe not getting the exact date, it's going out tomorrow between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m., which is pretty stressful. But it's ready to go. I'm going to film a video tomorrow if I have time, showing newspaper. Here's the date, here's the condition of the car. Talk to the driver tomorrow. I have great communication with the shipping company, the tender company, and the driver. Have all their numbers and information. I'm going to pull the Valentine out now because I don't need that sitting in a car in a truck for the next week. But that's it. The car's been here for 8 years. It is now running the correct software. It's got less than a half a tank of gas in it. It's clean, it's protected, and it's ready to go where I've dreamed of having it for 8 years. So that's it. Raz, Sabrina, and Kenan were here tonight. We hung out for a bit. My voice is still a little scratchy, although I feel fine. Today I got a haircut, if you can't tell. I went to AT&T, we talked about that. Tomorrow's gonna start some packing, some light packing, shipping of the car. Supposedly, you know, 9 to 1 p.m., but who knows what it's really going to be. And we'll go from there. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Thursday. Good night.